Hello children, welcome to a ninth English class. Children, I thought you question tag. What is a question tag? It is a familiar topic to you. You maybe attempted a question tag in your 8th standard, but as a part of a syllabus, once again I like to repeat the question tag. So I told you what is the question tag and what are the clues that we use in a question tag. Question tag usually we use where speaker expect the listener to agree the statement, right? In such case, in such situation, we use a question tag, and we also observe that all the positive statement which followed by the negative tag and negative statement is followed by the positive question tag. Okay, and regarding that I have given few example, and I even hope that you maybe have done that one, right? And the example which I gave you, which was in positive statement, and you maybe made it in a negative form. So now I like to give few more example where a statement is in negative statement, where statement is negative and your question tag should be in a positive tag. Okay children, so let's write down. Negative statement with positive tag. So question take down. She will come at 6. She will come at 6, and the sentence will be in future simple tense. Future simple tense. Past continuous tense. We were future simple tense. They won't be late. Children, do you know why I rubbed the previous question? Because the previous question, though it was future simple tense, but a statement was in a positive statement, but the heading we had given that negative statement. So I changed the question. Okay, you made the changes. They won't be late. Then past continuous tense, where you weren't sleeping. She future perfect. She won't have left work. She won't have left work. Present simple. Present simple tense. She does. She doesn't have any children. So this was in negative statement and your tag should be followed as a positive tag. So they won't be late. Won't is a future tense, so it will become will they. Okay, negative tag. And you weren't sleeping. You weren't sleeping, so were they. Then she won't have left work, then will she. Future tense, future perfect tense, then she doesn't have any children. Doesn't, where the present simple tense, so does she. Clear? Depending upon these verb, children, you have to change the clause. Is it clear? This is the simple example that we like to do it. So here here you weren't sleeping. This is were you sleeping. Okay. This is a tag. Negative statement with the positive tag. Children, here I don't want to tell more because you already practiced in 8th, right? So just to revise your memory, I had given few tense along with that positive statement and negative tag, and negative statement with the positive tag we were worked out. Okay, so such question it will come, and how it will come, the mark which it carries, that all you know. So children, be careful and don't leave any question with regard to the question tag. So it is very easy. First what you have to do, you have to observe the verb, and depending upon that verb you have to identify that whether it was a negative statement. See, this, not, won't they. So won't, the negativity, and the future tense. So it will obviously, when it come to present tense in a positive form, then it will come to will they. So first you have to identify the verb, then next is that statement you have to see whether it is a positive and negative. Then the question tag will automatically, it will come to you. Okay children, so this is up to a question tag. Now I like to do clause. Right children, you heard clause? It is, I think it may be a new, you may be tried it, but it is there in your syllabus, clause, 9th syllabus especially. So I would like to take up a clause. So take a new page, in that give a heading as a clause. So children, take down clause, give a heading clause. In the clause, write a definition or the explanation regarding the clause. Okay. A clause is a group of words that contain a verb. Full stop. I'll repeat once again. Clause is a group of words that contains a verb. Full stop. A clause may form a part of a sentence. A clause may form a part of a sentence, or it may be a complete sentence in itself. So full stop. I'll repeat once again. See, a clause is a group of words that contain a verb. Full stop. A clause may form a part of a sentence. A clause may form a part of a sentence, or it may be a complete sentence itself. Full stop. Okay, finished? So listen to me here. What is a clause? Clause means it is a one sentence. Okay, while see, now I used a language. Now I am speaking with you a language. So while using a sentence, children, we obviously we won't see that whether I am using a imperative sentence or interrogative sentence or assertive sentence. Okay, that we won't watch, right? Even we won't observe that whether while I am speaking, the tone or the variation, whether I am using like a parts of speech, whether I am using a conjunction or a preposition, I am using that and all we won't use, or sorry, we will use, but we won't observe it. So curiously we won't observe it. Have you noticed? If you have noticed, correct, because we want our language or our message to be conveyed to a people, one who was in front of us, right? So while conveying this message, we won't observe all this grammatical function. But see, here I used but it is necessary that where we use few of the things which join the two sentences together, like the work of a conjunction, but, right? Or unknowingly we may use the assertive sentence, or while I want to do inquiry, I may have given you interrogative question, or I may use WH question, right? Or I may use negative sentence, right? So such grammatical function which comes in our language function, right? So same way here, clause referred to, it is nothing more than that, a simple sentence. Okay, clause is nothing but a simple sentence, while clause is a simple sentence, like I told in the definition that it is a group of a word, or it is a sentence itself. See, what does it say? It is a group of words. Clause is a group of words that contain a verb. In a group of a verb, as I told, in a sentence, children, remember, see, listen here, in a sentence, okay, see, in a sentence, it contains subject, right? Then verb and object. Okay, this is a simple sentence I told. Remember, see, while teaching a sentence, I told you a sentence should carry minimum 3 words. That is like subject, verb and object. While containing these 3 subject, object or the 3 words, it becomes a simple sentence. Is it clear, children? Suppose my sentence may include subject, verb, along with the verb, conjunction, okay, then adverb and preposition, then object. So now think that it is a big sentence where it contains not only a subject, verb, along with the verb, conjunction is there, adverb is there, preposition is there, and object is also there. So totally it becomes one big sentence, like which comes in our textbook. Assume that example I am giving. So in this, while using these many parts, like parts of speech is there in a one sentence. So it becomes a group of words, right? Subject itself is a one word, along with the subject, verb, which is another word, right? So together it becomes a group of a word. So clause is that either it is a simple sentence or it is a group of words which contain verb also. In a group of words, verb also contain, conjunction also it may be there, but we won't see, right? But the sentence should or it may include many things in itself, right? So clause is also saying that it is a set or the group of words which contain verb, and along with the verb other things also it may contain. See, so clause may be a form, a parts of a sentence. See, it is a parts of a sentence. See, this is one part, verb is another part, conjunction is other part, adverb, preposition, like separate part is there in a clause. Or it may be a complete sentence itself. Together it has may become a one sentence, or without these also it has become a one sentence. See, in this verb no conjunction, no preposition, but it is a sentence, right? When having these many parts of speech also it has become a sentence, right? So all together we refer it as a clause. Is it clear? So in a clause there is no such restriction that, listen carefully, in a clause there is no such restriction that you have to use only verb, you have to use only adverb, or you have to use only conjunction. No, there is no such restriction was there. In a clause you can use anything to complete the sentence or to give a meaningful sentence to your listener. That is a clause. Okay, so I will make you clear with the example. Okay, first one example. Before, don't take the example. Okay children, just don't take example. I tell you when to take the example. Because it is raining, so don't take this example. I will tell when to take. Okay, now you have took the definition about the clause. Below that, give a heading independent clause. Give a heading that independent clause. After the heading, write down independent clause, a clause that can form a complete sentence. A clause that form a complete sentence standing alone, having a subject and a predicate. Okay, what is the independent clause, children? See, an independent clause that can form a complete sentence, standing alone, having a subject and a predicate. So what do you mean by predicate? Predicate is nothing but an object. Okay, below next para write down, an independent clause is a sentence. An independent clause is a sentence that has a subject and a verb and requires no extra information to understand. So what is independent clause, children? Independent clause in the sense, in a sentence should contain subject, verb and object. If it is there, that much is enough to become a complete sentence, and it doesn't require anything more than that to give a information. I am going to temple, that much is enough. Okay, I am going to temple, or I am going to school, that is enough. There you are clear that where I am going. Clear? So there nothing is needed to give more information. Example, see, example, Geeta is going to school. So this is a verb, this is the object, and this is the subject. Okay? Anything is needed more than that? With this sentence, we are clear that where the subject was going and what the action was doing. Right? So this is a clause and this is a independent clause. Where it don't require anything to complete the sentence. I'll repeat once again. This is an independent clause. Sentence itself is a independent clause because in this sentence there is no requires. It doesn't require any such words. It doesn't require any such words which support this sentence. Is it clear? It doesn't require any such words which support this sentence. Whereas here you take, see, because it is raining, we have an umbrella. Okay? We have umbrella because it is raining. So there is a use of a conjunction as well as a rain. Whether it is an independent clause? Whether it is an independent clause? No. Suppose you take only this one. Suppose you take only this one, that we have an umbrella. This is a independent clause. Clear? Only this is the independent clause. Whereas this sentence, why we are carrying the umbrella? Because see, we are used here, we are separated or we are linked a sentence with a comma, to tell because of raining we carry the umbrella. So to link or to connect, to make this is a complete sentence, if we are using any other words, then that becomes dependent clause. Now this is a dependent clause. Is it clear? What is a dependent clause? To make this is itself independent clause. It doesn't require this part, children, right? If this part is there, this is a independent. This is not meaningful unless this is there. Okay? Suppose you give up this one. Because you give up, and just let's write it. It is raining, and remove the comma here and give a full stop. Then this is become a independent clause. Okay? But here you use the conjunction because and along with the comma, it become a independent clause. Means this sentence is not free or it is not independent. This is dependent on this part. Clear? This part of a sentence is dependent on this part. That is why this is called as a dependent clause. Together from here to here, this was a independent clause. Whereas if you separate without the help of anything, then it will become a independent. Is it clear, children? Is it clear? Differentiate. That is why I had given two different sentences. Now you have to independent clause. So don't get confused. It is very easy. Okay. So now don't take this one. I will tell when to take. Only if you want you can take. Independent clause, below that one you can take this sentence if you want, or else only definition is enough. Then okay, this comma let it be and clause. Okay. Now next heading, after independent clause, give a next heading, dependent clause. What is dependent clause? A dependent clause is a group of words that contain a subject, verb, but it doesn't express a complete thought. Is it clear? See, in these also there is a subject, there is an object, there is a verb, but it is not a complete sentence and it doesn't convey the meaning unless it should contain the independent clause. See, I'll repeat once again. Dependent clause. A dependent clause is a group of a word that contain subject and verb but doesn't express a complete thought or doesn't express the complete meaning. Okay? Doesn't express complete thought. Full stop. A dependent clause cannot be a sentence. Is it clear, children? See, now it is, suppose if you are taking, because it is raining, give a comma, and after giving a comma, it shows that the comma itself represents that it is not complete itself. Continuation is there, right? Do you agree, children? See, a comma is there. The comma, it indicates that continuation of the sentence is there. Suppose, as I told, it is raining. Suppose you take here, see, it is raining. It is raining. Here I will give a full stop. Then this is a independent clause. Whereas this is not an independent clause because the sentence is not complete itself, because a beginning was with the conjunction and the because that it says that something is pending. That was, see, because it is raining, comma, what was the reason? We have an umbrella. Because of the rain we have an umbrella. And why we have an umbrella? Because of the rain. That is why independent clause always assume that it is not a complete sentence. It is not a complete sentence, and always, children, remember that dependent clause always depend on a independent clause. I'll repeat once again. Don't get confused. It is a simple and easy topic. Okay, that independent clause is a simple sentence and it is a complete sentence with full meaning. Okay, whereas independent clause is not a complete sentence and it is dependent on independent sentence, or it is dependent on another sentence. Clear? Independent is a free sentence, whereas dependent clause is dependent on some other sentence. That is why it is called as a dependent sentence or a dependent clause. Okay, and remember here we separate independent clause with a sign of a comma, okay, and it is not much to worry, children, because in your lesson Justice Above Self, in page number 98 they had given few exercise. Okay, that is a page number 98 in language use. Few of the sentence they had given, and that sentence, after that sentence in the next para they have given which is a independent and which is a dependent, and I want you to read that one. Okay, read and understand the difference between dependent and independent. Before that you have to watch this class and you have to read the notes, then you read this, then you will understand. Okay, and I tell you one thing, this is not complete yet, because independent and dependent introduction I just given, and what is the link between dependent and independent, that I will explain you in the next class. Till then, whatever I taught you, that you have to revise and keep, so that when I do the next continuation part of this class you may get connected. Okay, children, till then, take care.